but my job was able to let me work from home because I literally had no idea when I was going to miscarry. Except for the day that I did miscarry some of the tissue shortly after my surgery. And they literally sent me home, and I got a message from my doctor that said, at this point, you're just going to have to wait and see what happens if your body will expel the tissue naturally. So I said, okay, well, like, do you know when it might happen? No. So this is a lesson in terms of like, even what we're going through right now in the world, it's a lesson that God is still in control, because they couldn't tell me when I was going to miscarry. I had taken, at this point, 13 pills, 10 antibiotic pills. I had a DNC surgery, and I still had tissue left that could lead to sepsis, which is a horrible infection that could either kill you or make you lose your limbs, or like I would need to have another surgery, which they would have to put me under again, which there's always a risk in that. And so I remember just crying and being like, okay, God, like, I really don't know. And the pastor who married me and Rodney called me on a Friday night. It was actually the 13th of March. She called me and she said that I had been on her mind and she felt like something was wrong. And I was like, I mean, yeah, it's been a little rough. And I hadn't talked to her since like November. And we talked and we prayed. I remember crying. I had Nadia in the bed beside me, and having Nadia really helped a lot, because she's definitely a light in a dark world, and she makes me smile and laugh. And I was in the bed and Nadia fell asleep. We were praying and we were coming against the enemy and any worry, any doubt, any fear. We were coming against it in the spirit and just praying. And after that, I felt like a weight was lifted. And my friends have been with me throughout all of this and praying for me. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of them, my family, for all of their support. And I slowly started to let people know, what was happening, that we were going through a miscarriage. But I literally have been going through a miscarriage, everyone, since February 10th. The reason I did the show this weekend is because on Friday, this past Friday, 3/27, is when I finally got the call that my miscarriage was over. I had a sonogram on this past Tuesday, the 24th, and they didn't tell me anything. They had me come in for a sonogram before the office opened because of COVID-19, and I said, does it look clear? Like, is it okay? They didn't tell me anything. So I was worried to death that maybe I was going to have another surgery, and that this wasn't over, because it literally lasted an entire month. And when they called, they said this is nothing that they had ever seen, and that it was a rare situation. But I think it was a rare situation. It was God's way to get my attention, because we live in a world where we're so distracted and we're so busy, and we think we can control things. He definitely showed me through this that I can't control anything, and that he was holding my hand. From that day I went in for the surgery, and that message said, he is always with me. It was so true. He was with me the whole time. But at the time I couldn't see it. It's like the poem, The Footprints. And I know people say, like, if you're going to worry, don't pray. And if you pray, don't worry. But it's a lot easier said than done when every time you go into the doctor, there's bad news or everything you see around you. And then to tack on top of that, COVID-19 was ramping up around the same time. So it was a lot that I was worried about. So every time I thought I was making it through, there was something else. It was another hurdle, or it was another sonogram. It was another blood test that said there was something that was wrong. It wasn't something that was right. It was something that was wrong. And so because they said that there was something that was wrong, I didn't know how to handle it. I was afraid. I was thinking, Lord, like, I just want to live. And you want to know what makes me more afraid? Is to live and not accomplish the will that God has for my life. Not to inspire the people God has put in my path to inspire. Not to bring people to Christ, but to die and let my life be in vain. Sorry. So that's what scared me, was that I would leave this earth not accomplishing God's will for my life. So I know that I'm here for a reason. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to share my story. And I'm not done. I'm sure there's going to be days where I'm going to cry because, like I said, I still haven't dealt with the miscarriage because literally I started this process January 24th is when I found out I was pregnant. February 10th, I found out I lost the baby. And then from February 10th until this past Friday, 3/27, I was literally going through a miscarriage.